My name's Charlie Roberts with Roberts Pest Control, and I'd like to take this opportunity to discuss with you our programs, our procedures, and thank you and welcome you aboard to the Roberts Pest Control family. So, 6 time a year pest. That's the program that you have signed up for, and I want to tell you a little bit about how that works directly from the horse's mouth. The 6 time a year is predicated on the fact that they don't make pesticides like they used to. They make pesticides to last anywhere from 60, 75, sometimes in 90-day increments. However, our principle is to keep your barriers boosted all year round. Therefore, we will do, odd month treatments, even month treatments, depending on where you fall. In the case of a wintertime treatment, where, as you can see behind me here, we've got some snow on the ground out here, and that takes some folks back. It takes people back because they're not used to seeing a new age approach to your pesticide usage. Okay, and what we do with our pesticide usage is a little different than the way other people do it. The industry itself is starting to kind of catch up with something that we've known for a very long time. Why waste time with interior or exterior service visits when you could turn around and concentrate the money that you would otherwise be spending through scheduling appointments, through working around the gas expenses right now, and then inconveniencing the customer on top of that. It isn't necessary for you to be home during these treatments. It isn't necessary for you to have the inside sprayed every now and or every time that we're out. Does that mean you're never going to get a pest problem? Absolutely not. There's always ways that pests are able to get around things, and we do stand behind that treatment. So retreats on the interior are free of charge for all of our customers. That is, something that we have been doing for over 20 years now. The reason that we do this way is we're actually able to take your pest control dollars, and we're actually to take those pest control dollars and concentrate them in an actual chemistry for you, targeting such things in the wintertime as your chinch bugs, your fleas, your ticks. And you're thinking, hey, there's snow on the ground, there's no bugs out there. Not true. Below that ice and snow there you have ground. This week it's going to be 50 degrees. And because it's going to be 50 degrees, that's going to get some of the insect populations running. And you'll notice I have a house right out here. As soon as that ground thaws, what happens? This house right here becomes a target. Okay, because now they're going to want to get into that house for food, refuge, things like that. So doing wintertime treatments, especially in these snowy applications, believe it or not, a water-activated granular works great. You're not supposed to apply water-activated granulars in torrential downpour, rainy times. But as we all know, following science, this out here, the snow-covered, ice-covered ground is a solid. Okay, and by getting that granular out there before that solid becomes a liquid, it waters that material in. You see, a water-activated granular is predicated on the fact that you put it out and then it has to be watered in, and then it seeps into the soil where these insects like to hide, thus giving you a barrier. We take this a step further by dusting siding channels. We take this a step further by using electronic granulators, which is almost unheard of. You will see us make strides and investments in your service, utilizing things like electronic backpacks, things that you typically don't see, from other pest control companies. We like to try to reinvest to try to make our jobs more efficient. Therefore, when price increases come through, it's typically not so bad for our clients. We've got a 20-year track record with doing just that. Very few of our customers have had these exponential increases like they have with other companies, and we know because we take the phone calls every day from our competitors that, hey, so-and-so's price went up, $10, $25. And, I know so-and-so that's been dealing with you for years, and, she says your price in 20 years has maybe gone up $5, $10. That's because we make these investments. We make these investments, and we have a common sense approach to our pest control program. Why stay in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s style pest control when we can spend higher amounts of money on higher end products for the exterior of your home, focusing on different things, different times of the year. That's our philosophy, and it works for most, if not all, of our customers. The customers it doesn't typically work on are the customers that just can't get past that 1960s and 1970s style of pest control, where you had a girl that made a appointment with you, and it just you're just used to seeing it. And if you're used to seeing it, then sometimes that's a hard obstacle to get past, and people are averse to change anyway. So our way isn't necessarily for everybody, but it is what it is. It is a higher use. I have customers that have come to me 10, 15, 20 years later and been like, "Hey, Charlie, you mind spraying the inside of my house?" "Sure, no problem, Bob. Why? Are you having some sort of issue?" "No, just haven't had you do it in a while." It's my typical response. Then there's customers, they'll have an ant that gets in or a bug that gets in, and typically it's dead by the time it gets in, which, we're doing our job. And we give them a little reboost on the inside and, kind of go from there. But they're not having to have a quarterly service where somebody is having to be inconvenienced by being home. They're not spraying insecticides, whether that's responsibly or irresponsibly. You just never know what you get these days. It's a more responsible use of insecticides. You're getting higher end outside where the bugs are. So you think about that concept. Do bugs live in your house with you? Sure, there's a certain level that have gotten in over the years, but generally speaking, that's not where they tend to harbor. They tend to harbor out here in the yards and the bushes, things like that. And if we're able to concentrate there, knock cobwebs down, do dusting applications, again, almost unheard of. There's hardly anybody that's doing that. And I don't understand why, because it's a very, very responsible use of that particular insecticide. It's the oldest insecticide known to man. I don't know why guys won't catch up, but, to each his own. This is just my method. So this is just a little bit of information about how we do our services. In the spring times, we will target your ants with a fipronil treatment. Everybody gets that, regardless of whether you're residential, commercial, once a year, twice a year, whatever you want. If you call in during those months, we make sure that your exterior is absolutely treated with that. That's going to target your ants. It can be mixed at a mixture of 0.8, the maximum. Can be applied up to 2 times per year. So we instruct all of our technicians to make sure that every customer gets those treatments, whether that's at a 0.4, which is the low rate, or the 0.8, which is the higher rate. A lot of times the guys will opt to do the lower rate for a customer that does not have an existing issue. The reason that they do that is that if you were to ever call back, then we would be able to come back out at 0.4 with that same sort of product to boost you to that 0.8. It just, if you have ants, that's really the most effective way to treat it. You're getting down to the colonies. It's labeled to kill about 5,000 different things. And while it's a little bit slower on spiders, it's great for ant control overall. Summer times we'll move into your spiders, your crickets, your fleas, your ticks, things like that. Demand treatments, bifenthrin treatments, a maverick additive, maybe a growth regulator additive, depending on what the circumstance is. We're able to actually, again, you're seeing that there's actually a chemistry behind this. This isn't me going to a trade show and buying the cheapest thing that I can possibly find, or something mid-grade and saying, "Oh, this works okay. Let's just spray it on all the houses and whoever calls." I don't want you to call. I want to be out of sight, out of mind for you. I want to run in the background to where you're just like, man, whatever he's doing is working. I don't know what he's doing, but whatever he's doing is working. And I get that a lot. I get that a lot from my customers. We tend to use the science behind what we do. So we get through that summer treatment. We can dust at that point because we're going to have more stinging insect activity. And while we don't guarantee stinging insects in general, because we can't control where they're going to fly and land, we do try to do things to minimize. We'll remove the cobwebs from the outside of your home. We will spray or granulate depending on what our weather looks like at that point. And then we'll move right back into the fall treatment season. And when we move into that fall treatment season, everybody again gets a fipronil treatment. That's when your ants are going to be trying to get back into your house. And then we're right back to where we started with the wintertime service, which typically is any time between November and February 1st. Our springtime really kind of starts mid-Feb to mid-May. And that's when, we'll get into those ant treatments with the fipronil product. So one of the things you're going to notice is that, there's different formulations, different times of the year. Two types of formulations in our industry. The first is a pyrethroid. Those are your typical insecticides that you're used to seeing. Those insecticides are repellent materials. And the second type of material is called a neonicotinoid. Layman's term, non-repellent. That's your fipronil treatments. There's nothing going off in the bug's head to say, hey guys, this is a bad place for me to be. As a matter of fact, they keep on trucking through it. They spread it insect to insect to insect. In the case of most social insects, they can ingest through grooming, absorption, ingestion, the three different modes that insects typically die from. And they spread it. They spread it like a virus. I touch a person, they have it. They touch 2 more people, they have it. They touch 4 more people, they have it. Eventually it gets down to the queen, and that's why a neonicotinoid is so effective in any pest management strategy, because you're actually getting down to the source. And without that, we would just be spraying and praying with pyrethroids all year round. And while we'd be killing what's there on the surface, we really wouldn't be getting down to that core ant. In the case of the fipronil treatment, we wouldn't be getting down to that core ant issue that a customer would typically have. So, with that said, this is just kind of a brief introduction into the 6-time-a-year ROS that we offer. We thank you for being a customer. My family and I appreciate that. My employees appreciate your loyal business, and we hope to earn your trust and hopefully have a long and prosperous relationship for years to come. I'm always available to my customers, day or night. Call our office at 636-243-0900. You can ask to speak with me, or my extension is extension 102. You can always call, leave me a message. If I'm not in the office, as you could hear in the video, this thing goes off like all get out. So it will pop me here if you leave a message. I don't care if it's 6 o'clock at night. I will take the time to try to call you back if there's an emergency. There are times I'm like any one of you. I'm not a conglomerate. I'm not a rich guy. I am a normal individual who just happens to like working for himself. I have children in the community. I came from this community. I graduated Hillsborough High School in 1997. My kids go there. So I'm involved in lots and lots and lots of sports activities and things like that. So if you do leave me a message, just know I will return your call. I just might be on a busy weekend if it happens to be a Saturday or Sunday. But I want you to know, from me and my family, my kids, my extended family, my employees, we appreciate your business. Locals have to stick together, and we really do appreciate you. And if we can ever be of service to you, feel free to reach out. And again, thanks for watching.